This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, starting in verse 35. After all this I wept again and abstained from food for another 7 days, to complete the 3 weeks that had been prescribed for me. Then on the 8th night my heart was disturbed within me again, and I began to speak before the Most High. My spirit was greatly agitated, and my soul was troubled. Then I said, Lord, you spoke from the beginning of creation on the first day. Let heaven and earth be made, and your word accomplish the deed. Then the Spirit was hovering. Darkness was spread around, and there was silence. There was as yet no sound of a human voice. Then you commanded that a ray of light be brought forth from your treasuries, so that your works might be seen. Then on the 2nd day you created the spirit of the firmament, and commanded that it divide and make a division between the waters, so that a certain part might recede upward, and another part remain below. On the 3rd day you commanded the waters to be gathered together in a 7th part of the earth, but you made 6 parts dry, and preserved them, so that some of these might be sown and cultivated, to be of service before you. Your word went forth, and the work was immediately accomplished. Suddenly, fruit blossomed in great abundance in an infinite variety of flavors and flowers, with matchless color and scents of unspeakable fragrance. These things were done on the 3rd day. On the 4th day you commanded the sun's splendor to be made, and the moon's light, and the arrangement of the stars. You commanded them to serve the human being who was about to be formed. On the 5th day you commanded the 7th part where the water was gathered to produce animals, birds, and fish. The silent and lifeless water, as it was commanded, brought forth animals so that people might recount your wonders. You kept 2 living creatures in reserve. One you named Behemoth, and the second you named Leviathan. You separated them from each other, for the 7th part where the water was gathered couldn't contain them. You gave Behemoth one part of the land that had been dried on the 3rd day, where there are 1,000 mountains, so that he might live there. To Leviathan, however, you gave the watery 7th part. You kept them to be eaten by whomever you wish, and whenever you wish. On the 6th day you commanded the earth that it create before you cattle, beasts, and reptiles, and over these you set Adam, the leader over all the things you had made. From him we all, the people you have chosen, have been brought forth. I have said all these things before you, Lord, because you have said that you created the oldest age for our sake. You have said that the other nations born of Adam are nothing, that they are like spit, and you have compared their abundance to a drop from a pitcher. But look now, Lord, these nations that are valued as nothing rule over us and devour us, while we, your people, whom you have called, your oldest offspring, your one and only child, those who are zealous for you, your dearest ones, are handed over to them. If the world was created for our sake, why don't we possess our world as an inheritance? How long will this situation last? 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, starting in verse 20. The beginning of the words of Ezra's prayer before he was taken up. He said, Lord, you live in eternity. The highest heavens are yours, and your upper chambers are in the air. Your authority is beyond estimation, and your glory is beyond our power to comprehend. The armies of angels wait on in fear, and at your command they are changed into wind and fire. Your word is true, and what you say lasts forever. Your command is powerful, and your precept is fearsome. Your gaze dries up the deeps, and your threat makes mountains melt. Your truth is acknowledged. Hear your servant's voice, and listen to my request, the request of one whom you formed, and listen to my words. But me, I will speak as long as I live, and while I still have understanding I will respond. Don't pay attention to your people's sins, but to those who have served you in truth. Don't consider those who do evil by sinning, but those who have kept your covenants in the midst of torments. Don't think about those who have conducted themselves wickedly in your presence, but of those who have made it their purpose to know what it means to revere you. Don't set your mind to destroy those who have lived as mindlessly as cows, but look on those who showed forth your glorious law. Don't be angry at those who are esteemed lower than animals, but love those who have constantly hoped to honor you. We and those before us have followed ways that lead to death, but it's on account of us sinners that you are said to be merciful. If you desire to have pity on us, who have no good deeds to our credit, then you will be called compassionate. The righteous, who have many works laid up with you, will receive a reward for their own works. What are human beings that you should be angry with them, or a corrupt race that you should be irate with them? In truth, no one born has not violated your commands, and no one who grew up has not sinned. But this shows your goodness, Lord, when you have pity on those who have no stockpile of good works.